What is up guys, Storm here, and today we are doing another continuation of the Minecraft build, yay! So the plan here is to just continue the progress from the other day. We do a bit of the time lapse, and at some points we're going to stop and just have a little bit of a back seat and have a look at the progress being made. We'll talk about my kind of like ideas for the build, and we're just going to really have a fun time. So definitely stick around, see what I do, see my kind of style, and yeah, let's just get right into it. So as you can see behind me, I've obviously got the materials. I've done a little bit of off video resource gathering, just kind of wanted to get some more materials so we are properly set up. So I'm going to quickly show off what I've kind of got. Over here is obviously the stuff we have with Orv when he helped us. There's also a double chest over there. And then over here we have the shulker boxes that are brand new. Ooh-wee. So these are some deep slate cobble. I've made some building materials here actually, so we're kind of like set off for a decent start to the build. And yeah, the plan of attack is we're going to have to fill in this wall section, you know, really kind of make a solid back wall so we're not getting any mobs, you know, jumping in. And then we're going to build the second foundation for the floor on top. And I'm just going to try to get like a nice kind of solid shape for the style of the building. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how it goes. It's gonna be interesting to say the least. But yeah, we're gonna do a small little time lapse here now, and then I'll see you briefly in a minute. Hey guys, I am back, and I have unfortunate news. You see, look at this. Look at this. Nice, square, perfectly organized, and then rectangles. Why? Why did I do this to myself? It's an easy fix. You know, I just got to kind of extend the foundations up a little bit, but I didn't realize I did this, so I've got to fix it. Now, obviously, it's going to take me some time, but fortunately for you guys, you get a bit of movie magic. Okay, and we're back. The error is gone. As you can see behind me, perfectly square as all things should be. Chicken just entering my shop. We'll ignore it. Anyway, it's pretty nice. This is the update on the progress so far of the epic build. Yet to have a name given, I guess. Anyway, so I've added these epic chiseled things here. It's like chiseled deep slate. Pretty cool. Adds like a really nice texture to the build. And then I've also added this kind of like depth to the side of it over here. And basically the plan is now is, as you can see over here, you know, I layer it up and it kind of creates this level of depth. And basically I'm going to do that again, but unfortunately I'm going to do that twice, which is a bit annoying. Look at my epic elytra, pretty cool. Anyway, so this is the thing here. So that's a small example I just built there. But I got to do this twice, wrapping all the way around the base. And then that's basically the first part of the base done. You know, once I've done that, I can basically build a nice roof and then the second foundations for the next part of the build. So we're going to jump to the time lapse and hopefully I will have this kind of sorted. Okay, so we have some progress, which is pretty good. As you can see behind me, it's massive. It's pretty big. So we've got some kind of more work to do with filling it in, which is a bit annoying. But it's really taking form. Small issue though is mobs are now spawning in the middle, which is not good, as you can see. So they gotta go because they're not paying rent. I mean, look at these guys. They're not paying rent. We can't let them live. So I'm gonna get rid of these, and then I'm gonna have a happy gas fill all this up. And then I'm gonna extend these pillars because this needs to go up by 1 level. So it's really looking good though. And it's kind of getting that kind of, what's the word? Brutalist kind of style across really well actually, because it feels a little bit condensed, and that's the whole point. You know, it's supposed to feel a little bit like kind of restrictive. So it's definitely giving off the style I wanted. So a little bit more progress to do, but really taking form now. Weird floating block in the back for some reason. It's pretty funny. Anyway, back to it. Hey guys, I'm now back from the time lapse. So the walls are now fully filled in. Amazing. The main central extensions, the 2 extensions that go out from the front, the top roof area has also been filled in there as well, just because it made it a lot easier. So I think the next plan of attack is going to be to kind of filling the central roof, establish the podium area so we have a foundation to build it on. And then I'm probably just going to add a bit more depth to the roof, because I really want to add a little bit more style to it. And alongside the actual pillar extensions, I kind of want to add a few more pillars going outwards, alongside some kind of statues above it, because I really want to have like a grand entrance. So that's kind of the style. I am just going to cut to it, like to show where I am, because it's getting a little bit late now, so I don't want to keep doing time lapses, you know. I want to kind of just cut to it and show the progress. But I've got a really good idea. I think it's going to work out. We will see in a moment, I guess. But hopefully, fingers crossed. So I will catch you in a second. Hey guys, so we are finally back from the off video kind of work. So I've added loads of different changes. It's still the base design, I've just kind of added new stuff onto it. But it looks cool, I'm happy with it. Big main changes. One, I've extended the front areas, so there's now front pillars in front of the main hallway area. I've also added 2 small extensions on the top near the roof. And I've just kind of, throughout the entire build, which you'll see in a second, I've just kind of like created these separation dividers, so you can tell the difference between the pillars and the roof. So yeah, I really like those details, which I'll fly over and show in a moment. But overall, super happy with it. This is probably the base part of it done, I would say, the base plate. We're going to start in this area here. So as you can see, this is like the side extensions. Again, one main thing I did is I really liked these like kind of deep slate brick fences. So I've added those onto like the style of the like walls, just because I wanted to give the sides a little bit more depth, because it was looking a little bit flat, unfortunately. So I was like, okay, let's fix it a bit. So we did. As I said earlier, I've kind of like extended these pillars out. I got this kind of idea from both the Palace of the Soviets and also like the Washington Memorial with the pillars. So that's kind of like where I am in my headspace with the like inspiration kind of side of things. Again, side extensions there. If we fly up, you'll be able to see the statues. So quick things, there's the 2 statues on either side, there's the fireplace pits, which I'm probably going to add a little bit higher, just because I want a little bit more height to these torches. Next part is I've added the foundations here, and these kind of like little block extensions here. So like I said, these separation dividers just kind of go throughout the entire build. Again, it's a really nice detail, but it just really works in the long run. If we go up here, so these are the foundations. I think how it's going to work is I'm probably going to do 30 wall, like a wall of 30 blocks high, and then another wall of 30 blocks high of a separate cylinder. So it might go 30, 30, 50, but it might change. So it's kind of like down to how like the flow is with it all. That's kind of like the progress so far. There's going to be 3 different sizes of the ring sections here. And then obviously on the third one, it will have this massive statue on top. So it's going to take some time, but it's going nighttime now, which ain't great. So we are going to wrap things up here and then get into the time lapse. But really great progress so far. I think overall, I'm really happy with the direction. There's some things I want to change. I want to add a bit more greenery around the area. So I might do that after the actual build's like solidified. And then I also want to build, when I raise the cylinder, I want to add the same kind of like fence depth extrusions. But I kind of want to play around with it a little bit more. So it'll be interesting to see how I work that in. There's a nice little sunset behind me. That's kind of cool. But the sun never sets on building. And we've got more work to do. So let's commence the podium build. And let's see how far we get with it. Let's get right into it. Okay guys, and we're back. So the podium just took a really long time. I mean, the pillar itself, it kind of, in the end, what happened was I had to kind of change a few things. So instead of 30 blocks high, I went 20, 20, and then 10. and it's pretty cool. I'm also building the statue on top, but I haven't made the statue yet, so it's purely just the cylinder, and I'm about to like just do a little dramatic turn, and you guys are gonna see it's quite big. So if we just slowly look up, you know, this is the nice little detail, and then we just go a little bit up, and you can start to see it, right? So if I just quickly, again, these chickens. Why do they always keep going into my shots? I don't know. Anyway, as you can see, it's pretty big. it's giant. The podium itself is just way bigger than I thought, so it looks good. But it's to the point now where it's actually dangerous to build up there. And as you can see, it's just this giant, massive podium. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is go around the circles where those chisel blocks are. Just create more depth around the outside. And then basically build the statue at the top. And if anyone's wondering what the statue is, which I know some people might be, it's a dalek. I'm going to build a dalek, guys. I'm going to build a giant dalek on top, okay? It's going to look epic. Because I was thinking, like, what could I do? I could try to do a human, but I feel like a human wouldn't render in as well. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do one of those Minecraft daleks. Why not? So it's going to be interesting to see how I incorporate it into the style. I am terrified because I haven't actually built a dalek in survival. So this is all going to be new, and it's probably going to be an absolute pain. But we'll figure it out. We kind of have to at this point. I mean, you can kind of see the depth of detail going into this. And that is the statue done. So now the Dalek statue's done, the pillar, everything that's kind of like the main build itself. If I had to round up, I'd say we're probably at 80% done. So I'm really happy with it. I'm going to fly over in a second. And we're going to fly over there. We're going to have a look. I'll show you guys what I've been up to. It's going to be a bit of a fun journey, but it's kind of like a little bit of a long flight. So you're just going to have to bear with me for like a second. There's also, you know, the potential of death, but it's fine, guys. I never die. So here you go. It's massive. Also, I try to make it lore accurate to TDE. So this is like the TDE Dalek, like my own custom variant. I added this cool crown. This idea was from Nexus. I got that idea from Zen's Nexus Emperor variant. So it's kind of cool. Like I said, I kind of need to light up the base. I also gave it this claw, so it looks like it's pointing, like just like the guy in the statue thing is. So all I've got left now is I want to also extend this base front view, so that's going to go up by one more level, and then I also want to add a little bit more of like statues on these two buildings here. So it's just kind of like small work that I've got to do left, but it's nothing major, and it won't really take as long as the actual main thing like has done. I'll say like the main thing that I will apologize for is there's been so many time lapses in this video. Like I was doing editing while I was working on this, and I was like, okay, this is like I'm getting to the point where I'm probably breaking a record of how many time lapses are in one video. But if anyone's like watched all the way through it, fair play. I respect it, guys. I respect it. Yeah, I'm really happy with this. We are just gonna move on to the last little final stretch of the build, and hopefully it will be done. So I will see you in a moment, and hopefully not fall to my death. Bye. Okay, and we're back. So the main build is now finished. I've added more elements in. I think the main stuff I've added is new statues and just kind of I extended smaller pillars around the podium. So that was based off of the architecture from Palace of the Soviets. So the main inspiration has been that, the Palace of the Soviets. And I learned some fun history about that. So it originally was being constructed around 1940, and while they got invaded, they had to stop construction, and eventually it became a pool, which is really funny, just learning the fact that this kind of like weird architectural monument just became a pool. And then it's kind of funny that there's an ocean right behind this monument. But yeah, so we've kind of extended the pillars up around the podium. I've added new statues in, so I added 2 horses, 2 little men, kind of like fun kind of thing. And I've added like a little V. V for victory. It's kind of like my main profile picture thing at the moment. So yeah, the main stuff I've added on the outside was the fireplace as well. So I've extended the fireplace, the torches have gone up a bit, and then I've also just added like a central one. And obviously lighting, I've just added loads of glowstone. So there's a glowstone just scattered around because, you know, it's quite nice when it's at night. It lights up really nicely now. But before it was a big mob farm, so it was a bit crazy. But we're gonna like fly around now, so I'll kind of give you a better view of things. So as you can see, the Dalek statue is done. It's very big. I really like how imposing it is, and it's kind of funny because from down below it doesn't really render in as much, so it's kind of like this hidden massive monument thing. But over here, like I said, so I've extended the torches. The torches are now extended upwards. Some more statues around here. So kind of like fun little statues there. The little bird statues there, the eagles, I haven't really changed much. I've just added torches. And then out on the outside here, I've created like a small gardeny area. And it's quite nice because it's quite a nice little view. So if I walk around, it's quite a nice ground floor view. So this is the gardens. I'm going to add more stuff for the garden area. But as you can see, there's loads of wildlife. And it's just kind of like a nice little detail. And it's a really cool clash because you have like this nice little like nature thing that is directly opposite this massive monument build. And it's just kind of like a nice little, I don't know, it's kind of like poetic. It's a nice little poetic message. You know, you've got nature always finding a way, even when man tries to build his own, you know. But as you can see here, I've added the Empire flags. So this is the TDE Empire, the Imperial flags. As mentioned, inspired from Skyrim. And I always kind of scatter these around in, you know, ceremonial areas. And I thought this was a good one. So down here is the main entranceway. So as you can see, it's just huge pillars. It's quite a lot actually. There's a lot of fun details as well. But it's very imposing, very big. And then this is the interior. So the interior is just a frame. I've just basically extended the frame downwards and then added more pillars. And then I just added these little fireplace stuff just to give it more like sinister view. You know, kind of wanted to go for a more sinister atmosphere. I've added these banners in as a little showcase of, you know, the Empire and all that. And there's like a cool little symbol thing here. So we have these statues here. So these are like the common workers holding up the build, you know, supporting the arches, the foundations. And then above these imperial banners are these withers. And these withers are like a symbolic meaning, because what they do is that they're kind of chained in. And the idea is that it's basically a symbolic message of, you know, dominance. You know, you've got this really ancient mob that's dangerous and deadly. And it's kind of like the statues are kind of chained. So it's almost like the dominance of the Empire in the law like has control over even the worst of the villains in the MC world. But I thought that was like a fun little message to kind of add in. So below us is the storage room area. I just needed a new area to store all my stuff in, which we'll show now. And the way you get down there is there's this spiral staircase I made. So we'll go down there now. It's a bit of a trip, and it's a little bit of a dizzy one because it's quite twisty, but we're all good. We have this nice chandelier kind of piece here. It's inspired to look like a Dalek eye from both above and below. So it's a fun little detail. This is the storage area here. So this is where all the chests are. Just various different stuff, various tools. Over here is just like the basic bed area, and you know, just nothing really much there. Behind me is the raised torches. So I've just kind of raised them up by 1 block. And then over there is the statues, the various little statues. We've got this kind of like centerpiece here. I really like the idea of like these torch areas. Just like incorporating fire as an element is just a really fun play. As you can see, as we get higher, you can see there's the other statues. So if I fly up, you can see these 2 little men statues here. And then the V as mentioned. And what's good now is it's going nighttime, so you'll be able to see what it looks like at night. And I've got a nice little viewing area here, which I'll land on, hopefully. Provided I don't fall to my death. Phew. So, here you go. So this is what it's going to start looking like at night. There's small dark patches around the podium, but nothing too bad. Like, it doesn't really spawn mobs, which is the main thing. The stuff below is also torches down there. It won't render from this distance, but they are also lit. And the moon kind of rises as well. It's actually nice to watch because you can kind of see the sunrise and the moon rise, or sunset, or that kind of stuff. And above us is the Dalek statue, which we'll show in a moment. But yeah, it's really nice. I think I kind of achieved the architecture I was going for. One thing I wish is if I was to redo this build, I'd make it probably 2 times the size it currently is. But it actually is very, very unique to its kind of style. I've improvised a lot of certain areas, and it's kind of got this like original feel to it. And obviously the Dalek, the massive Dalek statue is very cool. Like if I zoom out here, you can see it's a pretty cool little thing. It's also got the laser, which is a fun detail. But yeah, so we'll fly over there now. Just get like a really nice view of it. Like I said, it's so cool. it's amazing. So we've got obviously the Dalek dome. I know I've showed this off, but at night time it looks a lot cooler. So it's very cool. I'll land over here and I'll show a little hidden detail. Ow. So this here is my evil little lair. So this is like a hidden little area. So if you fly up directly from the podium, this is like the top. So down there's the below where the storage area and the kind of rally room is. And then up here is like this small little hideout area. It's really fun. It's kind of like a nice little attic space. And I like the fact that you can actually see the internal workings of the Dalek. As spooky as it is. But yeah, it's kind of like, it's cool to see like the Dalek eye. It's just so, it's such a cool little detail in my opinion. So, but as you can see, we're very high up. It's a very, very tall building. So yeah, I've also added glowstone in the back sections of the Dalek alongside this area. And obviously the Dalek laser. I really love this Dalek laser thing. It's a fun detail. The claw is there as well. So we have the Dalek claw and the Dalek death gun. So we'll get to something in a moment. That's the view from the front. And as you can see, that's the garden area down there. So that's what the garden area looks like. That's the cathedral over to the right. And there's a fun little detail here, because as you can see, this giant statue clearly needs a name, right? You know, we've got this giant Dalek Statue of Liberty, I guess. But I wanted to give it a name, and there's a fun little thing about the Dalek community. So there's a main guy that I think is probably the main guy that's kind of pushing Dalek content forward for quite a while now. That's just my personal opinion. But I thought, you know, it'd be fun to kind of honor him. So I've got a name for the statue, and I've called it Dalek Bumps. So this Dalek statue is hereby named Dalek Bumps, and there's a little date there, so you guys know when I completed the Dalek statue. It's so cool. I really love the design, and obviously I love Bumps stuff. So I actually listened to some of his videos while I was making the statue, so I thought it'd be fun to like do that. But yeah, Bumps, if you're watching, you now have a giant monument. So enjoy the massive Dalek Bumps statue as it disappears into the background. But as you can see, at night time it just looks so cool. I mean, the whole build is just amazing. I definitely want to do more mega projects. hence why I made the storage space. And as you can see, that's just like a fly overview of everything. And yeah, so I've still got more work to do, like with architecture. I definitely want to experiment more with different styles. So I've kind of like been doing research in my spare time to kind of like get rough new ideas. And you know, I've got some cool ideas in the works, so we'll see. So these are the torches I mentioned earlier. And again, I'm just a huge fan of these. I think they're like a fun way to incorporate natural light. I say natural, but obviously, you know, it's fire. Oh, and another thing. So I've added these down here. These are like little glowstone things. It was a really dark patch here, so I kind of just added that in to fix the lighting. And I've done that like in various places. But yeah, that's basically the build. I've had huge fun doing this. It's been really interesting and a very rewarding experience to kind of see how the build has grown from the foundations to a fully massive build. So that's the Palace of the Daleks. It has got a name, it's fun. It's the first of its kind. Probably won't be the last because I do love this form of architecture, so I might do something much bigger, you know, later on. But for now, I'm happy. It's awesome. And obviously, I think we've done some amazing work. So I've kind of earned myself a little bit of a small break. So I don't know what the next project will be. I'll have to plan it out. But you know, I've kind of been enjoying just seeing how active the server's got through doing these builds, and a lot more people are working on their own builds. So there's so much future content to show, which is going to be really fun. And yeah, hope you've enjoyed. Hope you had a fun watch. Sorry it's been quite a while, and for those that have got through all the time lapses, good on you. Hope you enjoyed the music. Maybe giving it a bit of a dance, why not? But yeah, that's me. That's Storm done. And I will see you in the next one. Bonjour!